Look out, y'all. Ashy Knuckles. Um, Gonna do a little video on the upcoming fight in the um, IBF 154-pound champion Jermall the Hitman Charlo, part of one half of the Charlo twins, will be facing former WBA champion and a surging Austin, no doubt, Trout. Good fight. Um, If you look at, let's start with Trout. If you look at Trout, you know what he comes to do. He's crafty. He's a veteran. Got a lot of experience. Been around a good deal. He had to earn his right to fight the upper echelon of the division and make some money while doing so. And he beat some of those guys. If you look at his resume, he fought Miguel Cotto in a winning fight. I believe that fight was in New York too, if I'm not mistaken. He also fought um, Saul Alvarez, which some people felt he got a raw deal in that fight. I'm not one of those guys. I thought Canelo went ahead and took care of that. Now, the thing about that fight is Austin Trout, he really wasn't landing flush with meaningful shots, but his activity level was so high. He was throwing so many punches. And even if they were glazing shots, you know what I'm saying, or shots that really had no effect, he should have got points for those shots, especially for the rounds where Alvarez was clearly gassed. But even in the rounds where Alvarez was clearly gassed, he wasn't getting hit with anything meaningful. If he was getting hit at all, Trout would get him back against the ropes. He would be letting his hands go. And then all of a sudden, Canelo would hit him with one big solid one. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And you know how it is. The crowd and a big shot, a favorite, a guy who hasn't went down, a guy who has star power, always win favor with the judges, even when he ain't even doing nothing in that round to really make it seem like he was winning a round. If you really go by the way they score fights, a lot of those close rounds, quote unquote close rounds, should have went to Trout. But being around this game so long, you already know how the story goes. When you're going up against a star fighter, you got to put a whooping on his ass if you really want the judges to start scoring in your favor. It's not an even fight. You know, when it's a star fighter, you already lost. You got to go in there and do something to make it seem like you took it to this guy. I mean, I hate to say it. It's the truth about boxing. It ain't even. You know what I'm saying? If you got star power, you got favor. That's just the bottom line. But y'all know how I feel about Canelo, the fucking beast. He also fought Delvin Rodriguez, beat him. Well, he fought a lot of good guys. He fought Lara in a losing effort. He gave it his all, but everything he tried, Lara shut down. It was two southpaws. Most southpaws are not used to fighting each other. It's not like you can walk in every gym in the United States and be like, you know what, I need some southpaw sparring. It just ain't everywhere. You want good southpaw sparring, you're going to pay for it. You're going to fly them boys in, you know? So even most southpaws are not used to fighting southpaws. You know, it's the truth. They give each other, that's more of a style clash than a righty versus lefty. It's a lefty versus lefty. But that was actually a fight that favored Lara because in Cuba, you can get southpaw sparring. He probably spent his whole life sparring against left-handed fighters on the island. So, plus he was just a better boxer. So he knew he was going to win and he went in there and did that. But shout out to Trout. It ain't like he just had to fight Lara. Nobody wants to fight Lara. And for good reason. Even your boy Triple G. So anyway, after the fight with Lara, I think that was his second fight in a row to which he got his ass beat. He just had a bad 2013. You know what I'm saying? I think it was 2013 he fought those guys. He just had a bad year all around. It's just the way it is. But outside of that year in particular, when looking at his resume, he's had a pretty solid career for a guy who didn't have a high-profile promoter coming into the game. And we all know he's with Al Heyman, so now he's getting another chance to fight for a world title, which is good. He's coming off a 4-fight win streak, couple of stoppages in those fights, and he is a name. He does represent the top fighter within the weight division that he campaigns, and it just so happens that Jermall is looking for a fight. So it was only fitting that you put these two styles together and see what happens. You have a surgeon, Jermall Charlo, undefeated. I've always not done videos on the Charlos all this time because I didn't want to be biased. And y'all know I know these guys. I know the twins. Damn near every fighter coming out of these parts. You know what I'm saying? So one thing I didn't want to do is be biased. I wanted to tell y'all about him. I told y'all about him. Y'all know what I think about Jermall. He does what he does. You know what I'm saying? Jermall does what Jermall do. He go in there and just do what he want. I've seen it for years, man. I've seen this boy spar for years. I've seen him fight for years. Back when nobody knew who he was, he didn't have a promoter, didn't have a manager, didn't have nothing. Jermall was promoted by Golden Boy at that time. Jermall didn't have shit. You know what I'm saying? He was taking fights on short notice, trying to take whatever he can get and still going there and mopping boys up. You know what I'm saying? But now, since he signed with Al Heyman, it's been, the career has been going, up. And now more the world get to see what he can do. And even when they start seeing what he can do, they weren't giving him the credit that he deserves. So they really weren't noticing what he brought to the table. Because when you see Jermall for the first time, I mean, it's not like he's flashy, he like special effects type of deals like your boy Andre. Andre does a lot of stuff that appears flashy, but that doesn't mean you're technically sound. Now, am I saying he's not technically sound? No, he does know his fundamentals, Andre. He don't always choose to use them. Fighting with your hands down ain't technical skills. And he don't fight with his hands down all the time. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't. He's a very good fighter, slick fighter. But Jermall fights a technically sound and fundamental fight every time out. And the things that he does well, you wouldn't be able to see with the naked eye unless your eyes was trained to see it. Like how when he's inside, how he can smother guys with his punches. Or when you think you got a good shot in close on his blind side, there's an elbow there by the time you throw a punch. Or when you think you sizing him up, he's actually sizing you up, trying to find where he can get a good right uppercut underneath that elbow of yours, hitting your body. He does a lot of stuff well. Everybody just knows about the solid jab. Actually, both him and his brother got real solid jabs. But why people talk about Jermall's jab the most is because Jermall, he punches in twos. He throws 1-2s all the time. And Jermall pretty much dictates behind the jab. You're going to see that jab more than you're going to see anything. And a lot of people think that it's easy to counter Jermall off that jab. I've seen it in the gym. You got to understand, before this guy even had 8 fights, he was in there sparring against world champions. I was watching all that shit. I remember back when Omar Henry was hot. I used to see them in the ring sparring. I mean, I've never seen nobody get with Jermall in the ring. And that's just being 100 with you. And that's why I never wanted to put videos out there because I didn't want to be biased. But Jermall is a goddamn animal, man, in that ring. That boy nobody's fucking with Jermall at 54, dog. And that's just the way I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? And if they do it, they're going to have to do it in the ring. They're going to have to show me, in other words. The boy is damn good. He don't do all that moving. He fight flat-footed more than anything, but he can get on those toes. But that's just not the style he's adopted. Can he use it? Yes, just like infighting. Most people think Jermall is just all outside game. You have never seen that boy go on the inside. That boy got inside game, and he don't even be using it. He can fight southpaw. He don't even show you that. So I'm saying he got a wide array of skills that he could bring to the table that he never had to bring to the table. You guys truly have never seen the best that guy has to offer, and he's a world champion. And think, when guys go for their first world title, that's supposed to be a tough fight. The champion is supposed to be revered in the weight division. You're supposed to go in there and try to give it your all and respect the guy who has the title. Go in there and do your best and try to take it from him. And Jermall went in there and beat the brakes off of Cornelius Bundridge, a guy who's not easy to look good against. I'm not saying K9 got the best skills in the world, but he's strong as fuck. He got a good jab and a big right hand. and he awkward. He'll once you get in close, he'll tie your ass up and sap all your energy because he's squeezing your ass to death. He always using his strength against you, and that be sapping guys' energy out of them. And like I said, you look at him, it don't look like much, but when you take it from guys that's been in the ring with him, they'll tell you how strong he is. You know what I'm saying, and what makes him effective in that ring. But when he got in there with Jermall don't waste punches at all. He don't waste much of anything. And mistakes that you make in the ring, you're going to pay for it. It just so happens that he happens to be one of those types of fighters that's blessed with the ability to disconnect guys with one shot. He got power in both hands. And the good thing about Jermall, he's not going to stop being Jermall in the ring, even though he got big power. He's not going to do like most boxer punchers in this game. Once they find out they got power, they abandon their boxing skills looking for that one punch power, looking for one big punch. That's not him. That's not him. He know he can punch, but he don't rely on that. He go in there and he mix you up. He throw punches up and down like a true professional. You don't know where it's going. You don't know where it's coming from. And that's the thing. You think that he's just a guy, he's just throwing punches, just using his height and his reach. But the deal is he got really good timing on those shots. You know what I'm saying? He don't even have to dictate. He can let you aggress and then use your aggression against you. And the thing about it is once he begin to touch you, then you're going to know you in the ring with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Not only do you got to deal with the fact that he can punch, that he actually has good boxing skills. And now you got to figure out how you're going to get your game plan going. Not have to worry about just the return shot, but the knockout blow. It's not like you can say, oh, no, I can't be knocked out. If you get touched right, you're going down. And that's the thing. Jermall be touching those boys. And if he don't put them down, he start busting them up. So, like I said, I've seen it for years. This guy is the truth. Jermall is a motherfucking animal in there. He's a motherfucking animal. And they need to go ahead and get him bigger fights, man. They need to get him bigger fights and see what he can do. Because, I remember back in the game, this dude was calling out Canelo. He ain't have nothing but like 6 fights. Of course, he wasn't going to get no Canelo fight back then. But he didn't know the boxing business. He was just a fighter. Fighters fight. They want to fight everybody. They think they can beat the world. That's just how these motherfuckers are wired. That's just the way that they are. And that's just the way that he is. That's all he do. He's just a fighter, man. And in this fight, he's going to be fighting Austin Trout, who is going to come to fight, who has a pretty good high work rate for a guy that boxes on the move. And the fact about it is he's also fighting a southpaw in Austin Trout. And Austin Trout is fundamentally sound. He will lead with a jab. He will throw punches and bunches. He is pretty crafty. He set traps in there. He's not just a crude fucking fighter. The dude got skills. He brings a lot to the table. He's a former world champion with that. So he's going to come to fight. And Austin Trout is not the type of guy that's going to try to survive the fight just so he can be like, oh, I got a raw deal. You know what I'm saying? He going to give it his all each round. As you saw when he fought, even when he fought Lara, or when he fought Canelo. With Canelo, he never stopped trying to win. With Lara, he never stopped trying to win, but Lara kept kept shutting down everything he tried. Didn't mean that Trout wasn't trying to win. Lara just had an answer for him because Lara knows how to fight southpaws. And Lara is about the trickiest motherfucker in boxing anyway, especially from that stance. And that's the thing, man. I don't think that Austin Trout could bring anything to the table that Jermall has never seen before. Jermall and Jermall, they've been training with Lara ever since Lara came to Houston. And that's years. They've been working with each other for years. Back when they was at Savannah Gym, and they haven't trained there in a long time. And they've been pretty tight with each other ever since then, working with each other, tighten each other up, in the ring. So to me, there's really nothing that Trout can bring to the table that, young Maul have never seen before. And just like any fighter, you look at a fighter and you think you can beat him. You point out his strengths and his weaknesses and things that you can exploit. And when you look at Jermall, it's not like he's moving away from these guys. These guys, they look at Jermall, they probably think he's just 1, 2, 3. But there's a lot more that he brings to the table than just being a 1, 2, 3 fighter. That's not him. Jermall is cerebral, bro. When you think you figuring him out, he really sizing your ass up. And I'm going to tell you when he got you. When he figures your game out, and I'm gonna give you this little gem, and y'all can take it with it, take it wherever you want to go with it. I don't give a damn because y'all probably more into this than I am as far as doing videos and shit. When Jermall start walking you down, your ass in trouble. Your ass is in trouble. That means he's figured your game out, and it's just a matter of time before it's sleep time. I've seen it in sparring. I've seen it in the ring. I've seen it on undercards where he wasn't getting no television exposure. If he walks you down, fight over. And you can mark my words on that. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm going to keep a long story short. Nobody trains like the Charlos. They come in stupid shape. They always in shape. Always in shape. Whether you see him at a Kroger or you see him at a Super Salad or something like that, they always in stupid shape all the time. So that's not going to be one area that can be a weakness. Y'all still trying to figure out what the weaknesses are. And so far, he has not revealed any. Maybe Austin Trout can reveal it from the southpaw stance. I doubt it. But this will be a good fight. I think they fighting right here in the town. Well, actually, I'm not in H. I stay outside on the outskirts of the H, but I'm from the H. But they're going to be fighting in the H, and that'll be good. That'll be, good hometown love in the crowd. Houston, they usually show up for the fights in the city. If they promote it if they promote it right, I don't see why this wouldn't be another one of those occurrences when we have a good turnout in one of our boxing venues down here. But in the fight, I like Austin Trout. Like I said, I give him a lot of credit. He's experienced, strong, crafty. Not the biggest puncher, but he don't have to be the biggest puncher. Power isn't everything. Journeyman. There's some journeymen out there with stupid power, but they ain't got no skills. And their record reveals that they're not the upper echelon fighter, but it don't mean they can't punch. Power is just one aspect of this boxing game that people reveal. I mean, people act like it's everything, but it's not. They're a journeyman. They got big fucking power, but they have no skills. Remember, I said that to you because it's the truth. But when you get a guy who has the ability to turn a dude lights off and he got skills, that's when you get your special type fighters that don't come around often. And I think he may be one of those type of fighters. Only time will tell. It's a lot of things that can go the opposite way or not in his favor. He can get his head swollen and not do the things that he's been doing to get to where he is. You never know. I don't see that now because to me, ever since I've known the cat, he eats, sleep, and shit boxing. That dude truly want to be the best without saying. He not much for words. He really not much for words. He rather fight. And when you start getting towards fighting now, he really start getting pretty mean. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he a good dude. He a good dude. Good to be around and stuff like that. But me knowing Jermall and being around the Charlo twins, I think Jermall may be a little bit more personable because Jermall, he can fight, but he know how to put that suit on and get on the mic if he needs to as well. When we start getting towards a fight with Jermall, he's not really much for words. He be ready to get in there and do the damn thing. So he may not even say much if they do a press conference. He may not really talk much. He not no talking dude. He just ain't. But if you heard from that boy Kanan told you, look, I didn't think he was much. But now that I've been in there with him, he truly is a good fighter. And that's what anybody who get in the ring with him going to find out. And you can mark my words to that. And that's all your favorite fighters at 54. So you can remember I said that. So I'm looking at the division, and it's a lot of good fighters in this division. But you'll see when they get in the ring and Jermall start touching them, it's just always a different story. And it's not like the guy can't box. The guy got really good boxing skills. It's just nobody's giving this boy the rounds. I mean, when the last time this dude went 12 rounds? I don't know. Maybe I ain't checked the record because I don't be doing all that record checking any damn way. But most guys can't give them all rounds. So I think Trout may be able to bring that out of him. We'll see, man. I don't think it's going a distance. I think, he going to get slept. I think Jermall going to knock him out. Not because it's any knock on Austin Trout. I think Austin Trout is going to come to fight, and that's why he going to get knocked out. Whether it's from a counter shot or just from a big shot. Will happen. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the fight. That's why they got to get in there and do it. We can predict it, till we blue in the face, but they still got to get in the ring, and the lights got to turn on, and the bell got to ring, and the ref got to get in there, and the boys got to get in there and mix it up. You know, all that talking goes out the window when that bell rings. You know, we have to see what these guys gonna actually do on that night. But that's my prediction for this fight. Stick around. I'm gonna try to do one on Laura and Marta Rojan. But knowing me, something else gonna get my attention. I'm gonna do something else, and y'all probably ain't gonna hear from me for another fucking 8 months. Hopefully not. We'll see what happens. Peace.